Now, coming up on today's show, we've a roundup of all the usual suspects, and I'll be joined by Adam de Wildgrade, Tom Hallett and Dan Hallett from the Folkestone Cycling Club, who'll be telling us all about the club, about the history, how long it's been going, stuff like that, how you can join, just what they do. And Dan will be telling us about a fantastic 300-kilometre charity challenge bike ride that's going to take place in Sweden. So that's be interesting stuff. And as for charity, it's for a great charity called Cyclists Fighting Cancer. So loads to be getting on with today. But we're going to start the show. I love this track, 1985, Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me. 1985, Simple Minds. Come on, fellas, you've been on a stag night and you've been singing that one. La, 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 la. Okay, sporty time. Right, okay, now Dan, let's bring you in. Dan, how long have you been on your bike, so to speak?
I started riding in 2010. I had a heart attack in the October end of 2010. Used cycling as part of rehab, and it sort of went on from there. It was really... a friend of mine went out mountain biking, said, come on, it's good for you. I was going to rehab up in Ashford at the clinic up there, and they said, yes, cycling's good for you. And basically it just took off from there. I had a mountain bike to start with. I rode the London to Brighton as a celebrity rider because it was my 50th birthday and their 50th anniversary. Right. And I rode it with Dr. Fox, of all people.
Did you? Oh, dear,
which was great. Yeah, I won't go into that anymore.
No, right.
And it sort of took off from there. Had a mountain bike, as I say, then I bought a road bike off eBay, and it just sort of picked up. And then I started meeting up with a few friends. And last year, obviously, I've ridden with... teams like Deal Try, etc. I met up with Keith and all the guys at Folkestone Cycling Club, and it just seemed to be the sort of cycling I wanted to do. It's really social, good fun, and everybody gets involved.
Now, would you say that the advice you was given by the doctors after your heart attack, the cycling, I mean, did you start off indoors on a bike, or had you had experience beforehand?
I'd done, everybody has a bike and they have a pedal around every now and again. I hadn't had any real experience. The rehab I was doing was it's meant to have been running, and I sort of progressed it to jogging and then onto on the treadmills. And yes, it was cycling on a bike was part of it. It was all sort of to do with the cardiac part.
Okay.
But yeah, it was really good, and I just found cycling was brilliant.
So what made you join the club then? I mean, how did you find out about the Folkestone Cycling Club?
Through Facebook. It's a very, very much a Facebook-orientated club. There's no hard rules or days that everybody goes out, and I saw the club, and it looked at that time, oh look, I'm going out for a ride, anybody wants to join me? Oh, okay, I wandered down to Folkestone West where they meet, met up with the guys, and it was sort of, okay, who wants to do what? Some people wanted to do a fast ride, some people like me wanted to do a slow ride, and it just sort of gelled, and everybody was so friendly. I just thought, great, it suits me, this is the sort of riding I want to do. I'm not Bradley Wiggins, my legs aren't built like tree trunks, and I just enjoy my riding.
Okay, well, you progressed to a massive charity challenge, which we're going to talk about later. This is a great challenge, and I've been looking at the charity that you're doing it for, Cyclists Fighting Cancer. But we're going to play a bit of music, we're going to do a bit more sport, and then we're going to come back and talk cycling. Bit of Shalimar there, 1982, a night to remember. Okay, we've had a few little technical issues in here today, but we think we've sorted them out. We have sorted them out. Okay, there was a bit of a delay on one of the microphones, but we think we've cracked it. We're going to come back to talk cycling. We're going to bring Tom in now. Good morning, Tom.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you very much.
How old are you, Tom, now?
I'm 15.
15, so you're on your bike now. Your dad's talked you into biking, has he?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, how long have you been cycling? Yeah, I mean, seriously.
Seriously cycling since about, I'd say, 2011, around there, basically after my dad had his heart attack.
Okay.
So I started with Deal VC, doing mountain biking, doing small courses with them. Then I moved on to Deal Try, doing road biking each week, and we did fair amount of distance. I still go out with Deal Try sometimes, but now I've moved on to Folkestone Cycling Club, which is, of course, who we're with now. Right. And we just do nice casual rides there. Okay. And also with Bedgebury, I do mountain biking too.
Okay, well, it's an extensive career you've had already in a short space of time. Great. Now, are there any any other youngsters about your age at the club?
Cycling club, we do have a few youngsters around, not necessarily my age, but we have got lots of youngsters there. I mean, I've seen a few around 10 years, I think, as well, sometimes there at the club. So it's quite a broad range of ages there sometimes.
Bit of Foo Fighters, 2015, only last year. Ba-dum. Right, okay, it's back to cycling. Now we've got loads to squeeze in, so we really want to get a move on. So I'm going to bring Adam back in now. Adam, now, right, I can picture the scene. Everybody turns up at Folkestone West on a Saturday morning. It's a beautiful sunny morning. There's no chill factor in the air. There's a big group of you, all mixed abilities. So let's take, for argument's sake, the ability that have got the most experience and might want to go the longest. Just how far and whereabouts would they go from Folkestone West?
Well, most likely on the marsh. You can never really go wrong with the marsh.
It's flat as that, yeah.
So depending on really turns up, but if we've got enough people with different abilities, we might have two groups.
Yeah.
The more experienced ones, as you say, we could probably go and do as much as 75 miles.
75, that's what I'm getting at. So 75 miles. I can imagine it happens at running. When I used to belong to the running clubs, you know, there's no point in slow cyclists going with the big boys. They get left behind and it just doesn't work. So let's say the more experienced, where would you go? Where would you go from here?
Oh, well, we could ride out Aldington, Appledore, down to Rye. It would never really be a very direct route. It would be quite a roundabout way of getting there.
And 75 miles, I mean, I've seen you pictures of having a cup of tea and a cup of coffee, bag of chips down at Rye. So how long would you be out for on a 75 mile trot?
For a 75 mile, we could be out for about 4 hours, 5 hours. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the mood of the day. It could be. Yeah.
You just phone up the wife and say, if you've done all the house work yet, because I'm on my way back.
Oh, no, my wife will be on the bike as well.
Oh, will she? Oh, right. Okay. So Dan, let's bring you in. So have you got any lady members at your club?
Yes, we have a vast amount of ladies.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
really?
There's a lot of ladies ride. And as you said, that everybody's of a different ability. And sometimes the ladies go off and do their own thing, and sometimes they join in what everybody else is doing.
So you're just as likely, same as running actually, you're just as likely to get an experienced lady cyclist join the big boys.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, sort of hate to say it, but they can sometimes beat us.
No, I'll tell you,
there's some very strong lady riders out there.
In the odd 10k, you know, you think, this has got, it's a lovely backside. I'll latch onto this for a few miles, and then she's gone. You know.
I didn't say that.
I'm in trouble now. Right, so Dan, let's say right, the price of a bike these days. We got Tom with us today. He's on possibly his second, third bike. We've all had bikes, you know, when we're youngsters and that. But now on the serious side, how much would you pay for a beginner to get a bike to suit something like a 75-mile regular bike ride?
Okay, I think I was quite lucky getting Tom's bike. Unfortunately, he's 15 and he's grown like a beanstalk.
Got to get him another one, one a year. Is
ridiculous. But with Tom's bike, I bought his first bike second hand in a shop in Hythe, and I think I paid about £200 for it.
Yeah, right.
It was a good bike as it was, but as he progresses, it's a bike is a thing that you can add components to make it better all the time. It's like the bike I'm riding when I'm off to Sweden. I've just added a load of new components to it, and it does make a big difference to how things go. Tyre size, crank size, etc., etc. Right. So if you start off with a good base, you can always build upon it.
Okay, excellent. Okay, we're going to play a bit of music now. Another Brick in the Wall by Pink Floyd. We're going to do a little bit of sport, and then I want Dan to tell us all about this fantastic challenge that's happening in Sweden.
We don't need no education.
Now, Dan, you're doing an event coming up that means cycling 300 kilometres. Now, for us who are still thinking miles, what's that?
196, I think.
196.
Something like that,
yeah. Something like that, very casually.
Give or take. Give or take.
It's about 5 Sunday mornings, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dan, you're doing this race. This is the time for you to tell us all about it. First of all, tell us a little bit about the charity. Great charity.
Yeah, it's a brilliant charity. I met up with Mike, Mike, who's the CEO of the charity, back in, I think it was 2012, something like that, when I did a ride up in Stratford-on-Avon. It looked like a nice place to go for a bike ride, so I went up and did their ride that was called Wheels for Heroes, and did a 75-mile ride, loved it, really enjoyed it, and I just sort of kept in touch with the charity from there. The charity basically...
What's the actual name of the charity?
It's Cyclists Fighting Cancer.
Cyclists Fighting Cancer.
Mike Grithwaite, who's the founder, CEO, who I just mentioned, he's actually a very, very keen cyclist. He had cancer himself, started the charity in 2005. He had a bone marrow transplant, but he went on to ride in the transplant games, and I can't remember what year it was. I think he got a silver medal in that, right. And he still supports the transplant games, still rides there as well. So, yeah, he's very much involved in the whole thing. It's a very small charity. I think there's only 7 full-time employees and everybody else is a volunteer. But the work they do, I just think it's fantastic. You know, it's for kids, and it's well worthwhile.
I've been on their Facebook page, and I was so impressed by some of the pictures of. It's not just ordinary bikes, is it? It's specially adapted bikes for, you know, if they've got a certain disability through the cancer or parts of their body they can't use.
Absolutely, yeah. Where you've got the sort of cancer, the treatments for it, you have the things like the chemotherapy, etc., and it all affects people in different ways. Sometimes, you know, we have to get bikes for the kids who've got back support or whatever. So the bikes are specifically adapted for that particular child if they require it, which is again a plus, because what's found is that part of what the charity does, they fund research into rehabilitation of cancer through cycling, which is obviously a non-impact exercise, which is great for everybody. So yeah, cycling, the bikes are adapted for them. We buy the bikes for the kids and they love it. You know, the pictures I've been putting up on Facebook to sort of to start winding things up on my charity thing, show the kids the smiles they have, what you get back from the parents and the feedback, amazing.
It means that the kids can actually get out and sort of mix, you know, on the street level, so to speak. Yeah, fantastic. So you're doing this run, this bike ride in Sweden now. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, it's something that Mike has been organising for the last couple of years, and they send a team of 30 riders over there. And basically it's a non-stop ride, 300k, as I say, 196 miles. And you get different start times. It's similar to the London 100, but another 100 miles on the end of it. Right. Basically, it's non-stop. We go around. We've got a fantastic start time of 9 o'clock in the evening. But luckily, I think we've been told there's only about an hour's actual darkness and the rest of it's sort of dusk and everything. But it just seemed a challenge. And I thought, I've done the London 100. I've done rides in Wales. I've done long-distance rides. Let's just go for broke. Let's just go and do something. And this was there. It was great.
Are you doing this as an individual? You've had to do the research into, you know, the logistics of getting over there? Or
no. It's actually organised by Mike and the crew. But they, as the charity, they organise it themselves. There isn't sort of a middleman. Like a lot of the charities, they have a tour company who does it. Yeah. Mike's always organised it. So the way it works is that the riders have all had to pay up front for all their accommodation, their travel costs, etc., and all the money that we actually raise goes to the charity, which is is great.
Right. Now I've got a map here of your little ride, and it looks like it's around a lake. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's around a lake called the Vateran, I think it's called.
And is the profile? I mean, would that be? You know, are you like hugging the lake? Would it? So it'd be pretty flat, would it? Or don't you know?
I've seen a profile. I think there's a few lumps in it.
Yeah,
but,
you can.
I pedal to work every day, so it's up Dover Hill. That's not. It's going to be the same.
Right. Okay. So it's fantastic, and. I mean, 300k non-stop. But have you any idea how long that might take you?
I did the 100 last year. I paced myself and I did that in 6 hours. I'm hoping to do it probably between 12 and 14 hours.
So you did the 100k in 6 hours. So this is basically 3 times 18. Yeah, so how long? 20 hours? 24?
No. I want to get round and around about 14, I suppose.
14? Yeah. Okay. Right, yeah. Because one assumes, I can imagine the lake, it'd be pretty sort of traffic free, so you can...
Yeah, well, especially that time of night as well.
Oh, yeah,
I think we've got to fight through hordes of somebody said there's quite a lot of mosquitoes and bugs around at night over there.
So, really? So it must be quite warm then, or don't you know the temperature?
I don't know the temperature. I'm just going to put every bit of kit I've got in my bag and hope for the best.
Yeah, right. Okay. So Dan, now any you've been cycling and since your heart attack, which is you've absolutely come on leaps and bounds, and you're a fine example to anyone that's perhaps suffered a bit of cardiac trouble. Get out on your bike, even if you start on an exercise bike indoors, and it's obviously opened up a new world to you and the club and what you're doing. But along the way, people must have helped you. I mean, have you got any thank yous that you want to say?
Yeah, I could go on for hours. To the people who've been so supportive, I'm not going to go on for hours because I know we're trying to push the time. But
you're here on your own.
Yeah, it'll be dark again. Okay, really quickly. Obviously, my friend Simon. I better say a big thank you to my wife, who's been stood by me all the way through this. Fantastic. I couldn't ask for a better wife than Caroline. Obviously, my family, my kids, Fiona, Lucy, Tom, Sam, Libby. Who have I forgotten? Nobody. Good. Right. And obviously the clubs who've been out there. I've been... The guys at Deal Try, when I first started going over there, fantastic, very, very supportive. People at Hyde Cycling Club, been out with them a couple of times, and then obviously we're back now to the Folkestone Cycling Club. And if I could just quickly say a really quick thank you to the people who are helping support on the ride. Stuart up at Folkestone Printing, he's done my flyers for me. Thank you very much, Stuart. Bouverie Place Shopping Centre, they're going to allow me up there space to rattle a bucket. Route 1 Cycle Cafe, Gary and Yvonne and the gang over there are going to be outside there rattling a bucket when it gets a bit warmer, because I'm not going to go over now. And everybody who I've ridden with, I've bored with my story. I apologise, but hey, that's me. I'm boring. I'm Mr. Congeniality, I think they call me.
Well, there we go.
And of course, thank you to you for letting us in this morning.
Oh, that's fine. It's been great. It's the beauty of this show is that I can get people in, and I think every one of you that sits at those two chairs ends up being a hero in my eyes, because we're not only talking about the sport, we're talking about what you're giving back to the sport. You've had a heart attack, and now you're doing this awesome ride for kids with cancer. And I have seen some of these pictures, and the look on their faces, what you guys are doing.
Could we mention the website, Kevin?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's the next thing. I was just going to bring Adam in now. So, Adam, it's a job to shut him up, isn't it, Adam, actually, Dan? He keeps going.
I know. We're, filling the gaps, then, isn't it?
Right. I've hardly said a word all morning. Now, Adam, okay, quick mention for the cycling club. Now, if what advice would you give to someone thinking of joining your club if it's a new member? Where would they go? How would they find out information? What contact, social media stuff have you got?
Well, you can find us on the internet at folkestone.cc, or you can simply go onto the Facebook page, type in Folkestone Cycling Club and find us on there. Browse the page or ask to join on and make yourself known.
Right, and regular on is it a Saturday morning from where?
Saturday and Sunday mornings from the Folkestone West Station.
Right. Okay.
Events are posted every week. Just turn up. There'll be people of all different abilities there most of the time. So, and if not, then we will do a ride tailored to the slowest person, so nobody gets left out.
That's fantastic. That's a great mission statement from the Folkestone Cycling Club there, guys. If you've been a bit intimidated and you're perhaps cycling the same old route on your own, then get along to the Folkestone West station or check out all the information on the Facebook page. Righto, Dan, we couldn't help this. The last word's got to come from you.
Okay, not quite, nearly. The Folkestone Cycling Club, we meet on the London-bound side.
Oh, yeah, the London side.
Okay,
yeah.
So otherwise you're going to be stood on the other side getting cold. Right.
You've got about, we'll give you about a minute, I think.
Okay.
But go on, fire away.
Folks, Cyclists Fighting Cancer. Their website is www.cyclistfc.co.uk. Please go and have a look, see what they do. I have a Facebook page. Have a look on me, and also on my Just Giving page, which is Just Giving.
Very important. You must send me that link, Dan, and we can share that.
Yeah, it's justgiving.com, Dan Sweden Ride.
Okay.
If anybody does that. And I better say it, I know she's listening. Marge, Good morning. I'm here.
Old Marge Reedy.
Yeah, there we go.
She likes everything.
Anyway, thanks, Kevin. Appreciate everything.
Okay, it's been great having you in, and we haven't really done a big whammy on cycling clubs, but there's more to cycling than meets the eye. I've learned a lot this morning, and I want to thank you all for coming in. So, okay, it's time. We're running out of time. We're going to hit the button now, and we're going to play a Simply Red. We've got Jordan's waiting outside. He's hovering there. He wants to come in and get going. But thanks, guys. Thanks to everyone. Hope you've enjoyed coming in, Adam and Dan, and of course Tom. Thanks.
Thank you.
Right, and we'll see you. This is Kevin Daly, the Sports Ferret, and we'll see you next week, same time, 10 o'clock, Academy 105.9, sponsored by the Natural Health Centre of Castle Hill Avenue.
105.9
Academy FM.
The Saturday Sports Show, brought to you by the Natural Health Centre in Folkestone, giving your body the mobility and well-being it deserves. 105.9 Academy FM.